should record.
All right, there we go.
So is it recording?
Yep.
Oh, there
Sorry,
it is.
it is. Yeah. Okay.
I'm used to Blue Jeans where it announces. So
Yeah. This is recording is turned on. There.
Well, you need to charge for that, John. Welcome everyone to this MicroProfile architecture call, last one of 2019. I don't have a whole lot on the agenda today, but I wanted to start with just a brief update that some of you may have seen. Some specifications are already starting to move to Jakarta artifacts. I think config's done it, REST client's done it. I think LRA's done it, Martin. Yeah. So there's a handful. We might need to reiterate. Actually, maybe I need to send a mail to the Google group, because I get the feeling that not everyone's completely aware that we need a release of every spec with these updated dependencies. Otherwise, we're going to be in a nightmare of cross dependencies and overlap and things like that. So I will actually add that and take action to make sure that gets sent probably after this meeting. Okay. This next one might be a little difficult. So this is marking OSGI dependencies is provided, and last time Gordon had an action item to go away and talk with, I think, Arjan and I think Mark Struberg and maybe others, but as he's not here, it's probably a bit hard to get an update from him as to whether he was able to speak with anyone. I don't know if anyone else has any particular input they want to discuss on this. Otherwise, we will bump that till next year.
If I just quickly can say something to the previous point, I don't see deadlines for Eclipse processes in MicroProfile calendar for MicroProfile 3.3, like where is component should be released. Because I guess it's mid-January, but I don't see it in a calendar.
Yeah, that's probably my fault here. I need to get the dates in to the calendar. So I'll see if I can do that actually today. I don't have them off the top of my head. I was just going to go to February and work my way backwards.
Thanks, John. Okay, so I'm going to say we probably don't have any updates on that one. So we'll postpone that till next year. So the next item is Amelia.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if this belongs here, but I missed the last MicroProfile call that is due next week, I guess. So I wanted to ask, now, finally the bug that we restarted 4 years later about giving MicroProfile contributors access to Git is live as of November 26th or 26, I believe. So we need to start populating and integrating those contributors. And I wonder if that is a task that we can work with the architectural team, like just massive, or do we go into the MicroProfile community and start drafting who will be added? Because it needs to be added by, it needs to be controlled, since no one in Eclipse will help us on that. We have now the access to provide our contributors, not committers, contributors, the access they need for Git. So I want to bring that up here in case you missed the update. It took us 8 months and a few weeks to finalize it. And it's something that is completed and affects the 365 or 60 projects under Eclipse. So it's a huge, huge win for the community.
So who has access to basically add the contributors? Is it anyone that's already an Eclipse committer can add contributors?
No, the project itself. We have 2 leads. We have a few leads, right? And every project committer can start helping. We don't want people added just for the whim. We want a strategy that will enable us to add people, understand why they are added, and it's not, and populated there within the Git. But everyone needs to know, like, Adrian, he's a collaborator. I have no idea who you are, Adrian. What have you done? It's like becoming a committer. What have you done in the past? It's not that you just show up and you will be added, right? We want to add the Harisi Sec to this. We want to add everyone that has been very, very active. So there is no plan of attack. It's just who has been doing the much work for the last few months and is deserving of being added to our Git, And we need to, everything is there. Like, you can go into the Git. I added the issue, so familiarize. Can you open the issue? Yeah, exactly. Thank you, John. Because I don't think I added the link, and it just tells you, there you go. Let's click on it. No, not that one. It's like the one that says media. Yes. So maybe many of you do not know. Oh, it's not working? Okay. So sorry, I come with the thing that you might know what I'm talking about. Totally unfair to everyone here. There. So there is a link. If you click 46 exchanges in months and 4 years all back, that is where we are. It tells you exactly what the thing does. It gives access to a contributor to work and issue, finish, add committers, do all the things that weren't allowed before when working on an Eclipse project. So I really do not know. I believe that this belongs here first. You can go down. It will tell you, yeah, Kai created it 4 years ago. And then I recreated it. I got pulled back in and open it. And I have been talking about this every few months in the community forum. So if you go by the end, John, because it's a lot to consume, you will see what we can do and how we can utilize it. It's just really at the end. We need to update the list of contributors. And one of the requirements that we will not deviate from is that each contributor must have an Eclipse account, must have signed some form, the legal contributors agreement, and then it can be added to this. Hey, Adrian, while we are reading this, can you introduce yourself? I've seen you, but who are you? Tell us while we catch up.
So, hello, everybody. Well, I'm just looking at the work you have been doing, guys, and looking for a start point for where I can start contributing to the project. So my first steps here is to watch and attend the meetings you are handling every week and try to know you started the process to contribute to the project.
Adrian,
yeah,
it's amazing. Adrian, is this the first call you attend for MicroProfile, or have you attended any of the other technical ones?
I attended the meeting of the last week.
Community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, community one. Yeah.
And do you check the weekend to tell you how you can contribute with low entry, like the debts? Is that what you mean? Are you still stuck?
Yeah, it's from the developer side, and how I can start to contribute to the project. I haven't completed the paperwork for the Eclipse Foundation and all the the stuff you have to do before starting, but I try to get involved before any other.
You are most welcome in this project itself.
Thanks.
Showing up is not enough, but you doing the paperwork, that's one of the most important things. And showing up, being like, I don't understand, what can we do? Ask questions. Don't be afraid. It's very important. So welcome.
Thanks everybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so John, did you read it? Everyone, are you reading it? It seems so simple. I have worked closely with the masters, and it's all done. So if we want...
I have a few questions. The difference between committer and contributor is then that contributor will only get access to get issues assigned, but doesn't get merge rights, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, it will not, the contributor will not be able to merge, like adjust the code without, there is a protection here that has not been missed, and you're correct. There is a protection on having access, but not being able to, for instance, delete gets or do this kind of thing that a committer can do. So what we need to do is to start testing, and my recommendation here is to pick 5 of the most incredible contributors we have in the last 3 months, and enable them to become the testers for this Christmas during the holidays. It's a very it's a lighter time, so we want to give them access to do what they want to do in this area. And after that, maybe in general, we broadened the scope. We shouldn't start with a big bang, because we don't understand what would happen if we had everyone that is so amazing. But we cannot everyone that is so amazing also. But the list needs to be created. And John, you are here, so I am just bringing this up. This is very important. This is exactly what we have been fighting for 8 months.
And so if I know somebody who would be suitable for this role, what should I do?
This is what we're talking about here. What should we do? And hopefully we should be using not someone that you work with internally. We should be using who you have seen within the community being amazing, writing blogs, going and speaking on MicroProfile. These people that sometimes only writes and speaks, but do not commit code. We want those doers, the ones that will be able to adjust the code.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Emily, hola, welcome. You were added to this blog, so come on.
So basically, the thing is with this, I think is putting into practice is, for example, you work on one specification. Just take an example like a MicroProfile for tolerance. If I have somebody contribute, like like attend the call and willing to do some issue, with this I can directly add that person to the contributor to the project edit. Just add that person to the project.
Correct.
So that he can directly like we know which issue he owns and etc. However, I don't think we should just go ahead to add people to this project. Like edit project contributor page. Arbitrary people is just added. You know that person is contributing and etc. Just add them.
So Emily, you're saying like the original plan when we chatted privately before we started the Git was that this will go into the most active committers. They will know who is working in the specification itself, and they will be the ones policing each extension will do, and that will be the most optimal thing to do. But for now, many people do not read the forum, so no one actually knows that this is available. So how do we broaden it so that those that add, that we're responsible, that everyone that is a committee, we have about 53 right now, is responsible to know why is this person added to the main. It's not once it is added to one extension, the entire project, the contributor, we have access to the entire project. It doesn't go, we have it, so it's by project, and there is no, one of the things that we did is that there is no You cannot choose just for metrics. It will go to the entire MicroProfile ecosystem. And that is why I am bringing this topic here, right? So Emily, this is the clarification. You are thinking maybe add someone only to the metrics, and no, it will go to the entire project itself.
I understand it's going to entire project. So my suggestion is, for example, that person work on this spec to just add them to the project contributor. So it's I kind of think it doesn't make sense to add arbitrary people is set to this contributor. So basically, is whoever if you add for example, Alex Luis, for example, to the contributor, and once you add Alex in, and he will automatically be able to contribute all the MicroProfile specifications.
Correct.
So and is we only have one project. So just I'm saying is add somebody you know has been involved and is contributing and is working on some issues and etc. And then add them. And also is people should automatically request. Maybe we should come up with a way like our blog contributing and that kind of thing, and you request to add.
So this is my thought, because Emily, you just touched the nail. We need to create a very short blog, and I would like for you and I to own that blog. Emily, I'm throwing in this here because you're part of this, remember when I brought it to community call, and thankfully you and Kevin joined the thread. We have the thread. And what I like to do is just to do a short 250, 100 blog, and then add it to the, you and I work on it to make it very specific. This is what we have. This is what is available. And this project, a project in MicroProfile, and Eclipse can choose not to use this at all, or we can choose it. MicroProfile, we choose to own this, and we can say, this is what we're going to do. But we need to decide as a community. Maybe we wait until next call also after we know a plan. Before we push that blog and we start populating it every week, the blog will be a reminder to the contributors that they can be added. You just need to show up and help and be known as a contributor so that you have access. I would like for this to be one point of entry for those that are like Adrian, do not know how to contribute, but they know that they will have the merit to first become a contributor and later at a future time, a committer. And this is the first step. So this is my idea, but Emily, you're the only one talking. Maybe we give some time for everyone else to speak up.
Yeah, there are also various kinds of people. For instance, for MicroProfile Starter, we have a few people who are working on plugins for IDEs. So I guess those will be also a good fit for that.
Yes, Rudy.
Yeah. So basically, I think is Amelia, what you suggest is makes sense. So can start from somewhere and gradually grow up, gradually populate the list with more and more collaborators.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be super easy to update that list, because at the beginning, the webmasters were thinking about that they will be getting the submissions. And I was like, well, we're videotaping this, so I cannot say it, but I was like, that will never work. If you need to police, that will be a debt for Eclipse team. And we can, with 300 plus projects, you cannot hold that. That will have to be, every project will have to hire someone in Eclipse to do this job. So you need to trust the committers to do their job on trusting who they work with, who they collaborate with. So Adrian, you are new here. How do you feel about this? You will be the most viable to tell us what you think about this, even though you have been just thrown here. You are a new contributor. You are hoping to do some waves. You have no idea how many hours you might spend a month, but you might get access should you do some stuff. And MicroProfile, how do you feel about this?
Well, I think it will be fine to have a kind of guide for where to start. I think it's already published on somewhere, but as you say, when the process you have to start here is to say, who can do that and who can do the other stuff, no? To commit to the code, or only perhaps contributors could be only translate some documentation or something like that, or contribute to the core of the project. So I think it could be good to define the guidelines for doing that kind of work. So, and it could be easy for the people like me who are liking to start and can find where the right path to start doing something.
Martin, what do you think? And thank you, Adrian. You're awesome.
Well, I still didn't get answer to my question on how I should actually propose on one, but I think it's a good idea. Like, I was stuck on not having the option to get issues assigned for a long time on LRA.
I think we misunderstood. I didn't understand you clearly. I don't know what you're waiting for. We're saying every committer has access to start adding contributors to the main repo. Once you add someone, that person is going to be tracked in a list there, populated immediately. But we, as a community, need to first write a blog and be very formal on what has been accomplished and why. And then we should make sure that every extension knows that they have the power to include and to start adding the most healthy and amazing contributors to the system. However, we cannot do this today. And my recommendation is we will write a little blog. And I'm saying, Emily, I threw you under the bus, you and I, because we have the Git. We will just add this. This is the history. And then you say, MicroProfile will start doing this. Every spec, once someone is added, we explain, once someone is added, that person has access to do all these things. We should test it. I would like for someone to test it with us so we know exactly what's what. This has not been tested, like externally by projects. So I recommend we wait until next week, see if we find 2-3 volunteers while, and then start doing this stuff. I mean, no idea.
And so where is this list?
The list doesn't exist because we have not created. As soon as you add someone, it will be it will be populated directly in the repo.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to do anything. It's automatic. If you add someone, you can remove someone at the same time. There's no waiting for someone to do the work. Every committer will have access to do this. But we want to make sure that someone gets added. It's not because you work for Tommy Tribe or Red Hat. It is because you have been doing the work and your work is public and available. It's like becoming a committer. One of the awesome things about this. John, you're amazing. You're still reading. It's a lot. There are like 40-something messages here.
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh boy, my video was frozen. I looked really intense there for like 30 minutes or whatever.
Exactly. You were super intense. I was like, he's catching up. He's the
only
one reading.
My video was frozen.
Okay. I was thinking you were like, oh my God, you're reading. I was like, at least he cared. Go ahead. I totally.
No, I have it on my other screen. If you see me looking at this, it's something else. So, where does it document how to do this? Because there's quite a bit here.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wasn't sure where they had the description of what we had to do to enable contributors and manage contributors.
An email was sent, and I think I can forward it, or I forward it to the forum. Maybe I didn't. I will go and look at it.
You have to look.
Yeah, the email was sent to every committer in in Eclipse. The thousands. It's like it got sent, and then we have the data there. You're a committer, so you have it, but it's so many emails, lady. So what I can do is I will forward it, and we will find the data because it needs to be populated in the blog that I'm telling you about. I'm just making sure that this group knows, hey, we have this. We need to investigate before we set it up and bring it up to the community call next week and say, this is what we have, and move forward.
Yeah, sounds good. Maybe we should move on for some other things.
Cool. So I think the next item is from Martin.
So, by the way, when Martin finished and I try to do like the OSGI dependencies thing, 125, I think I have some questions and maybe I can provide some answer. Okay, go ahead.
So basically, this is just an idea, but we used to have, at least for MicroProfile 2.1 and I think 2.2, the individual specification upgrades tracked as issues in MicroProfile repo, the umbrella project. And I found it very useful when I was starting with the project to see like what is going to be included in next umbrella. And people are asking like what is going to be upgraded in next MicroProfile, and there is no like real tracking anywhere else than basically community meetup minutes. So I think that this was a good idea, and I would like to continue doing this.
I think it's something we started doing about a year ago, and then it kind of fell by the wayside, and maybe a couple of months ago Kevin agreed we needed to start it up again. It's just a case of someone actually taking an action item and doing it. We should definitely be doing it to properly plan things and have some kind of roadmap there. It's just a matter of someone doing it.
I thought Edwin was going to take a look at using like GitHub milestones to kind of list what features were being planned for a milestone, and then those kind of, if this is the same topic, let me know if I'm mixing it up with a different one.
Yeah, so there's two levels. There's each individual spec would have their own milestone with their own issues in that milestone. And then the MicroProfile repo would have its like 3.3 milestone, and then basically just a generic like REST client 1.4, and like it would then maybe point. I don't know if you should be, and maybe just a link to like the milestone for that spec, so that you can like follow down the tree of where things go. So that at least at the high level, you don't get the detail of what every spec is doing, but you know that a certain spec is doing an update for that.
Right. So for this one, in the past, we have been doing like that. So it's back to this issue 3.3. Basically, so each individual specs need to create an issue in this MicroProfile milestone. For example, config, fault tolerance, create an issue and to have the config 1.4 and fault tolerance to 1 included. So with that, and then the individual spec can use that issue, can directly update the feature to be included in the umbrella release. I think definitely we should make this kind of more formal. I know in the past we did a few releases, maybe on and off. We use kind of some releases use this style. Maybe some releases forgot to use that style. I think it's very important for each individual specs need to create a kind of the issue under here. For the 3.3, all the specs need to create an issue. So that their kind of release can be included. I will go ahead to create a few, a couple for this one.
Sounds good. Thanks, Emily. So, but to answer your question, Martin, yes, we should be doing that. It's just a case of probably, for the most part, people remembering that it's something that needs to be done. That's probably the big one.
Yeah, it's a good topic to add to the next live hangout. Remind everybody. Let me add that.
Yeah, remind people. Yeah, the spec. Each spec need to create one. Since each spec will need to release.
Okay. So Emily, you said you had an update around the OSGI stuff. We kind of punted on it because Gordon isn't around.
Okay, so I look at the rest of meeting is like the previous ones is ask Gordon to talk to me. But since I'm here, I can directly provide some information. Yes, I think his Mark OSGI dependencies as provided is okay. I think I already did it in the config.
Yes,
I will go ahead.
It's been done for config, so this is should we be doing it for all specs?
Yeah. Let's do that. I think the next thing is create an issue in other specs. Actually, I will take this one. I will take this one because I plan to upgrade the version anyway. I will put on my to-do.
Okay.
And send one to me. You can, yeah. I need to do some versioning properly.
Okay, the next one is you as well, Martin.
So basically, I was just scrolling up the issues in MicroProfile repository, and there is a lot of stuff which is outdated, at least. Like, for instance, include reactive messaging 1.0. Like, we released reactive messaging 1.0 some time ago, so why is this still open?
Yeah, reactive messaging is released, but as a standalone, so it's probably not in the top-level POM file. That's why it is still open.
And there is, like, in the issue title, it's that release it standalone. So I maybe...
Yeah, but as in the message itself, there is the update the MicroProfile POM XML file with the appropriate dependency. So that's probably not done because of the standalone thing.
Okay, so then I may be missing both the standalone releases, but there are other other issues which are like open since 2017. Like very first one, for instance. Is here something that we can do still?
Martin, you're adding the issues to the chat, but then I think we're missing it. Is there a reason oh yeah, okay. If all of us are clicking, it makes no sense.
Okay, so can I clarify your question? So Martin, you are saying we have a law issue has not been closed or triaged, or what's your question?
Yeah, like why? Because we have over 30 issues open on MicroProfile repository, and I don't think that all of them are still relevant.
Oh, okay.
Make an effort to take a look at them and clean them up.
Right.
But
yeah.
Didn't we say that this will be done by each of the committers that are active in the project itself, and not this committee, like not this working group? I don't think we can be the only ones responsible for cleaning the repo. I do agree that should be cleaned up. We and the marketing side clean up this starting Q4, but now we are like, you know, just everything that was technical debt is gone. But shouldn't each committer or each be cleaning it by itself? I mean, if I believe that we should do a little bit better on this, Martin. It's great that you bring it up, but for us to clean it and continue to clean it, that is not scalable.
Yeah, I think it's probably something that needs to be brought up maybe at next week's live hangout. I know usually in relation to this call, I'm filtering on the architecture board label and only dealing with those. So I honestly can't remember the last time I looked at issues that weren't architecture board in that project. So I can't comment as to like how valid any of them might be.
Exactly. So you are not equipped to go into metrics and check those. And like, this is not the thing. Can we bring this up? Martin, will you be attending next week's hangout? And if so, can you add a topic to the agenda and say, we need to clean up, how do we do this? And then we proceed. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sorry, I missed that label. Yeah, you're right that this is not for this call.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you are attending next week's call, you mind adding it to the agenda. If not, I will own it. I'm like that person that doesn't mind saying, hey, we need to do the job. It's not I, but everyone.
Sure, I will add it to the community hangout.
That's it. Awesome.
Sorry, too many windows open and tabbing between them.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to keep both the hangout and this up to date. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Emily, I think you're up next.
Yeah. Thank you. I thought, okay, I can see the agenda. So, so basically, it's we have been discussing the growing pain and etc. I think his context propagation has been, released for a while, and also fault tolerance would like to integrate with context propagation. I want to bring up a discussion about adding context propagation to the umbrella release. If it's kind of probably not for, if we cannot make it 3.3, maybe it's kind of June. So I want to bring this discussion. If it's people vote for menace, we need to figure out why, and etc.
I think my first thought here is that it probably requires reactivating John's growing pains discussion so we can discuss more than just context propagation. Because I feel like if we discussed context propagation and ignored the reactive ones, that would be kind of a disservice to them. That we need to talk about all of them at the same time as to how we go about getting them into the platform and what that means.
Yeah. So I'd like to punt on this conversation because there's another discussion I think we'd like to bring up pretty soon around the MicroProfile working group stuff. So that's going to come out pretty shortly. That's why I've kind of been putting this on hold, because we have to figure out how we're going to close an IP gap issue, because we're not part of our working group. So that discussion's bouncing around some ideas, and we're going to kind of put something out to the community here, hopefully this week on that. So I prefer to hold off on the growing pains discussion, but let's keep this. I mean, we absolutely have to have the growing pains discussion. I'm just putting it on pause.
And John, you have been super, super, super transparent on the last 4 months. We have been in and out on the not growing pains, but being asked. We even had Mike come into the community call and say, hey, this is it. We need to do something, and what will happen? So we need to close the year with at least a proposal that the community can. So you guys, like, the growing pains is on hold, but you and Kevin have been very transparent on why it has been on hold. So I don't think we have even written about it, and this is why we continue to forget. But you have done a really good job every single time something is asked on growing pains.
All right. So let's keep this as an open issue. And I guess I don't know if you want to move on to the next item.
Yep. So Amelia.
Oh, it's just about the calendar. We need to every year we do the retrospective. I think the 4th Tuesday of the month, when there is not community call. For this call works once a month. And for my side and Tommy Troy's side, it's a +1. I would like to ask everyone else, who attends this call, do we keep it as it is? And if so, can someone own that calendar for 2/20 and make sure that it doesn't go through the entire holidays? Just stop at the second week of December, for 2/20.
Right. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused. Are you saying this call?
Yeah, this architectural call.
Yeah,
do
it's not
we
the
keep
fourth
it as it is?
Tuesday next necessarily. You threw me off
Yeah,
on
it-
that one.
We started out being the fourth Tuesday, and then we switched to every 4 weeks, just because.
4 weeks. That is what I mean. 4th week.
Okay.
Please, I'm sorry. Please just add the 4th week. We have it as schedule, and if anything changes with the call, we will need to write a issue saying let's reschedule, because this call has 2 reminders: the Thursday before and the Monday before. So everything is linked, and it goes. The 2 reminders go with the media, MicroProfile media. So I recommend we keep it as it is. We will just adjust the design. But can someone say yes, no, and then can we just schedule to 20 and be done with 219? And also say, what can we do better next year? Like a little retrospective.
I think the time frame is fine for me.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to have a quick look now as to whether.
You're looking for the calendar?
Yeah, I was just looking. Okay, oh, okay, there we go. So yeah, currently the next architecture call is like the 25th of February, because January got canned.
So you already have it scheduled for 220?
Yeah.
Wow, that's smart. We don't do that.
Actually, I think I just have it open-ended when I created it.
John, we should do that for community. Let's just.
I think I did that. I actually looked. I actually looked into 2020. I thought it was there.
No, like we don't have it, or at least when I looked, it didn't have it. But again, I sent a forum reminder saying let's delete this, and I already saw that you have proposed that in the community call last week. But then I said let's just schedule it open-ended. Let's be smart about this.
Someone brought that up. I just did an open-ended call, and I think open-ended means 5 years is how Google Calendar handles it. And I said, John, I plan to be retired before the end of this. Before the end of this, so it's actually pretty funny when you have these open-ended meetings. But okay.
I love it. We can adjust the calendar. It's just that if we like what we see and it has good attendance and the process is okay, we shouldn't touch it.
Yep, sounds good. Okay.
So then,
yep, sorry, Emilia, were you going to say something?
No, so then you can just follow up here saying, you can follow the update. You have it open-ended, it's gone. We will keep it as it is. And that means that the reminders, I will send an issue. Don't even worry about it, and make sure that we have it for 220 as it stands. The reminders, the media reminders only go until the end of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm asking just because there is a follow-up.
Okay. So that's the end of the agenda, but does anyone else have anything they want to bring up in the last 10 minutes or so, or we can have some extra time?
Extra time, please.
Well, thank you.
Me too. Guys, see you next week. And thanks for the awesome call. Kisses, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Adrián, gracias por compartir con nosotros esto